You're welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. A consultant cardiologist with the Kumasi Teaching Hospital is warning of a greater risk of cardiovascular diseases among Ghanaians, especially middle-aged women. Dr. Isaac Kofi says unhealthy lifestyles and eating habits are exposing more people to alarming heart-related diseases. He tells Nshua News that heart conditions top cases recorded at the Accident and Emergency Center of the Kumasi Teaching Hospital. Ohiminteria reports.
A Kumasi Teaching Hospital and Guangdong General Hospital research has revealed Ghana has a double disease burden, cardiovascular and infectious diseases. The research examined 1,000 people in 4 regions. Dr. also says the findings show a worrying trend of high cardiovascular cases recorded in hospitals, especially in women.
Even in the north, many young women and middle-aged women were found to have blocks in their arteries, otherwise known as atherosclerosis, which is an evidence of cardiovascular disease.
He wants Ghanaians to pay more attention to what they eat and how to keep the body healthy.
Cardiovascular disease doesn't just come like that. You know, those who develop it have what we describe as the risk factors for cardiovascular disease. And research has shown that cardiovascular diseases are among diseases that can be prevented. One of the reasons why we are seeing more and more of cardiovascular diseases, you know, among Ghanaian population is that we've changed the way we eat. We call that nutritional transition. There has been nutritional transition, you know, over the years. And therefore education should go on for people to eat healthy, you know, diets and do regular physical exercise.
Leader of the Chinese team and a cardiologist, Professor Lin Chongjin, announced plans to establish a cardiovascular center at SCARTS.
We hope when here built up the cardiac center in Guangdong, there are the Guangdong Cardiovascular Institute in Guangzhou. So I think 2 institutes can do the more cooperation in the future.
The Chinese team has donated medical equipment worth over $15,000 to the Kumasi Teaching Hospital. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohiminteria reports.
Dr. Kofi Owusu, Isaac Kofi Owusu joins me on the telephone lines now to give us some further explanation. Hello, Doc. Thank you very much for your time here on the Pulse.
Hello.
Yes, Doc. If you can hear me, thank you.
Good. Yes, I can hear you.
Great.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Doc. How widespread is this problem in your estimation?
It's a huge problem. The problem of cardiovascular disease and the risk factors for cardiovascular disease is a huge problem in Ghana.
If you say huge, if you take the Ashanti region, for instance, what will be the percentage if you do have those details?
Can you come again?
If you say it is huge, can we have specifics as to the specific details? If you take the Ashanti region, for instance.
Yes, I can give you some specifics. You know, we looked at our data at the Department of Medicine, Kumasi Teaching Hospital, in 2015, and we noted that, you know, for the admission the whole year, 2015, for the top 10 causes of diseases for admission that year, and the first 4 were all cardiovascular disease related. The first on the list was diseases of the heart, which includes heart attack, heart failure, and other conditions affecting the heart. And these are mainly as a result of high blood pressure. And then the second was diabetes and its complications. And the cases of diabetes are mainly cardiovascular disease. Third on the list was stroke, and the fourth was chronic kidney disease. Okay. So, as you can see, as for the top 10 causes of admission, the reasons why patients are admitted to the medical block or medical department of Kumasi Teaching Hospital, the first 4 among the 10 are cardiovascular diseases and its related conditions. So we have data to support the fact that cardiovascular disease is
on the rise. And you link all of these to not eating correct or not eating right and not exercising.
Yes.
Hello, Doc, can you hear me? It appears that we've lost Dr. Usu. You're still on the line. Can you go over what you just said again, because I didn't get the beginning of it?
Yes, I said that the reasons for this, high burden of cardiovascular disease and its risk factors that we see in our hospitals are 2. The first one is what I describe as nutritional transition. And what I mean is that we've changed our eating habits, and now we eat more and more sugar.
Hello? Okay. Well, basically what I believe he's trying to say is that there's too much, perhaps, wrongful eating, if there's anything like that. People are consuming so much sugar, and that obviously doesn't help the situation. I doubt if I still have him on the line. Let's try one last time. Dr. Osu, can you hear me? Okay, it appears that we've lost him, but it's basically about talking about what you eat and how you eat it, and the eating habit, obviously, and exercising, because they can tell from the statistics that they have as professionals that cardiovascular disease, heart-related diseases are on the rise, and they expect that people will watch what they eat and exercise some more. We can move on to some other stories, but still staying in the Ashanti region. Residents of Kokoso in the Bantama constituency of the Ashanti region say they have parked their vehicles to join commercial transport due to deplorable roads in the community. Others who are able to afford 4-wheel drives and other robust vehicles have switched from saloon vehicles. Commercial cars, on the other hand, have increased their prices, citing high cost of maintaining their vehicles due to the poor nature of the roads. Nana Yaujima reports.
Situated close to the 4th Infantry Battalion complex in Kumasi, it holds promise in terms of commerce, but bad roads have impeded expected gains that should boost the local economy. 6 months ago, the assembly member for the area, through some individuals, spent over 3,000 cedis to make the roads motorable. Dust pollution from the roads has not only affected residents here, but has collapsed businesses, as these residents recount. It has become unprofitable to work here. When you produce a white window frame, it does not attract customers due to the dust. I sometimes leave work early because the dust can become unbearable.
Because of
our vehicles are always breaking down. The roads are bad. A bridge meant to link Kokoso and Abrepo failed to see the light of day. The 4BN Boshain link would have reduced driving time, but sub-metro engineer for Bantama constituency, Peter Safo, says resources to undertake the project is a challenge.
32% are good ones, 68% they are bad roads, percentage-wise. Yeah, we know this will depend on the national budget. So normally what we do as a sub-metro engineer for the area, we'll prepare and do our bills and send it to our head office for approval. maybe we have to get some funds from that place so that we'll do the roads, the network. Past 4 years, we did almost 1 kilometer. That's if you know Bantama Rivoli area, we did one there, and also old that's race course area, we did down about 0.5 kilometers. In total length is 1.2 kilometers on that area.
This came to light during a familiarization tour by a member of parliament for Bantama, Daniel Ochem Abuaje. He tells Love News poor roads in the constituency will be factored into the $1 million per constituency budget.
Roads are very bad. Sanitation is an issue. People are dying because of dust. You know, in these areas, Kokosu area and what do you call that, Watu area, when somebody is even delivering, if the woman is in labor, it's difficult to even find a car in the evening because nobody comes here, you know, as you can see. People dress in white, as you can see going, and they walk the streets and they have to cover their legs with polythene bags until they get to a place where they can have a tire road or something like that. So we are in Bantama constituency, but this is how everything looks, you know, and it's very bad. So we are appealing to the government, you know, to help us, you know, make sure we can take care of our problem. All the people that you see around me here are all honorable members in the assembly, you know, various assembly members. And so what you see is that they invited me to come and join them to go and see the problem. What it means is that as if the $1 million per constituency should come, we should know what we are going to do with it. If it is a matter of roads, if it's a matter of building some factory for the people or business development, as has been enlisted in the budget statement.
All right, now customs officials in the Ashanti region have impounded 5 trucks full of smuggled high-duty food product and electronic gadgets in Kumasi. The action revealed an attempt to evade almost $1 million Ghana cedis in duties and taxes to the state in the month of March alone. Here is Prince Apia with a report.
Customs officials of the Kumasi unit say 3 trucks loaded with vegetable cooking oil were diverted from the Flao Konokrom transit route to a warehouse on the Barakesi Kumasi road. They were running from almost 100,000 Ghana cedis in duties and taxes. ACP Kwesi Ahiakpo is regional commander of Customs, Excise and Preventive Unit of the Ghana Revenue Authority.
One of the trucks had a foreign registration from La Côte d'Ivoire and 2 Ghanaian registration. So we had to send a second task force. When they got in there, they realized one of the trucks had parked, and there were 2 light trucks parked by the side closely, and they were lifting gallons of trade key cooking oil, 25 liters per gallon, onto the light trucks whilst they were offloading others into the warehouse. So the task forces closed in on them. As for the documents, there was no documentation, nothing to be produced, and one of the vehicles decided to speed off. And we had to chase for at least after about a kilometer before we intercepted it and brought it back. So yes, it is true, these 3 articulated trucks were carrying cooking oil, very expensive, high-duty items. We have to redouble our efforts, and we are not going to allow these loopholes. We have to, as much as possible, try and seal all these loopholes. But I can tell you, cooking oil, big money. 3 trucks. If I should attempt it, I do not think it will get anything less than 60,000 Ghana on one. Yeah. That is just duties before imposition of penalty.
The unit also seized about 77,000 Ghana cedis worth of electronic and household goods. Officials say these operatives paid 8,000 instead of 69,000 Ghana cedis in taxes. Mr. Hiako says huge penalties will be slapped on them to discourage the practice.
So that one in all, maybe the state should have had between 75 and 78,000 Ghana, but the state got 8,000 or barely, 8, not up to 9. So we are going to redeem that. So.
Meanwhile, the unit also seized 7 luxury cars believed to be part of some missing fleet of vehicles at the seat of government.
Vehicles. If you've bought a vehicle, 60,000 euros, and you cannot pay duty. Why don't you buy Tico, Akola, so that you can pay the duty? But those vehicles, I should think that you will not pay anything less than maybe 50,000-60,000. Yeah.
For each?
For each. Maybe.
He spoke of measures to seal loopholes on the Kumasi transit routes.
The rate of compliance to inquiring, cross-checking before buying vehicles in Kumasi, in fact, has increased tremendously, and I'm very happy. You can glean an amount of naivety, but ignorance of the law is no excuse. Once you appoint him an agent, he becomes your alter ego and vicarious liability. He's working for you, and you employed him. Yes, he is your declarant. So if he is, I hold you.
Prince Apia reporting.
You're still watching The Pulse with me, Gifty Ando Apia. I'm going to take another very quick break. When I return, we'll get into a very interesting discussion about whether or not we're able to, in this country, predict the weather and actually believe in that prediction. It is World Meteo Day. I will tell you how it feels like to work there. Stay with us, please.